So, a loved one has passed, and the will named you as the executor. It's a pretty big job to take on, probably one you're not real familiar with. So, avoiding probate mistakes is going to save you some headaches. I'm going to go over those mistakes. So, if you have been named the executor of a will or the administrator of an estate, then be sure to stay tuned. I'm Jana Classy. This is my husband, Paul, and we are realtors here in the Eastern Panhandle. We specialize in listing and selling inherited real estate and the probate process. So if you are or will be in the position of dealing with inherited real estate, we can help. Our contact information is in the description below, and we do a video every week. So be sure to subscribe, then you'll know when a new one comes out. So here's 9 things that are pretty common, and if avoided, can make the process go much more smoothly for you. Number 1 is not educating yourself about the probate process. It's a really good idea to know how it works before delving into action, so you're not hit with something new and have to learn as you go. There's lots of online information. We did a video outlining each step, and that's posted on the Jefferson County Probate website, as well as our website, and I'll provide a link to that at the end of this video. Number 2, no agreement with heirs about the outcome, and also failure to communicate with the heirs. This creates suspicion, and not to mention delay everything if an heir challenges what you're doing and complains to the probate office. Getting the courts involved in settling disputes is expensive, and it can really damage relationships. So clear communication and agreement with heirs is important to avoid these type of problems. Number 3, not keeping accurate accounting records. It's a really good idea to be diligent about recording assets, deposits, and withdrawals, and why funds were withdrawn, and then share these records with heirs so they don't have to worry about what's going on with their inheritance. Number 4, commingling funds that are part of the estate with your personal funds. You'll need to open a bank account specifically for funds from the estates. When you access assets from the deceased bank account, CDs, proceeds from the sale of a home, those funds should all be withdrawn and then deposited in one place, an estate bank account. So don't deal out of your personal bank account. Number 5, paying out funds too early. For example, if one of the heirs, say your sister, is in financial trouble, so you decide to go ahead and pay their portion of the estate early to help them out. The problem is if a bill or tax debt comes in that you weren't aware of, it would have to be paid. It would have to be paid out of remaining proceeds, which is going to reduce the amount to the other heirs, or you could be personally responsible for it. So before distributing funds, you need to be certain that the deceased debts have been paid. Number 6, not dealing with the real estate right away. It's usually a good idea to arrange the sale of the home, if that is part of the estate, fairly soon after probate is initiated, because the marketing and closing process can take a couple of months. Proceeds of the sale can be deposited in the estate bank account, so money is there to pay creditors. Number 7, not following the terms of the will as they are written. For example, maybe your mom told you she'd like the 4 grandchildren to receive $5,000 each when she passes, but she didn't get around to putting that in the will. that could create real problems with other heirs. So it's a bad idea to go outside the written terms of the will. Number 8, confusing probate assets with non-probate assets. When you are appointed executor or administrator, you'll need to fill out a form listing the probate assets, even though the deceased may also have non-probate assets as well. Non-probate assets are those assets in a trust, assets owned jointly with another person, assets with a designated beneficiary, like an insurance policy, 401k, something like that, or assets that have been designated to be payable on death to someone specific. Those type of assets are not subject to probate. So when you are looking for the deceased assets, you'll need to only include probate assets on that list. Things like this are one of the reasons that educating yourself about the probate process before getting started is a good idea. It'll save you a lot of time. Number 9, one last thing. Do an exhaustive search of assets and debts. Regularly check mail addressed to the deceased. Also, credit reports are a good way to check outstanding debts. It's a real pain to discover after the estate is closed additional assets or tax debts because the whole thing will have to be opened again. There's a lot of help on our website. We posted videos. There's a brochure on there with all the steps. That website address is inheritedrealestatewv.com. So go there, download the brochure, and of course, call us with any questions, 304-264-2828. I'll see you next week. I hope this was helpful. Call me with any questions. Okay.